Hey everybody, welcome back to Dino Comics Forever, and today we're going to do one of my favorite Guardians of the Galaxy, Mantis, and one of my favorite characters from Thor Ragnarok, Meek. I actually did this piece at Dutch Comic Con when I was sort of waiting for people to come by and look at my work, but also, it's also fun if people, you know what, take this as advice for anybody else who is getting a table at any sort of event. It's always fun if people are seeing you draw something. That way, you're not just waiting for people to come by and buy your stuff. That way, you show that, you know, you're still in your craft. You're doing what you love. And that way, people can also see your process, because that's also something really, people really love to do, is see how you actually draw. And it's a bit too bad that I can't, you know, bring my Syntech and my computer to these cons, because I don't spend the extra money for electricity, because that's a bit too much. That way, then people would be able to see how I Photoshop it too. But also, I'm happy they don't, because I'm notoriously lazy when it comes to these things, because I usually like to have a movie or watch a TV show, or have a TV show in the background, so I have like something to listen to, because I can't work in complete silence. So basically, why Mantis? I have to say it's because she's so innocent in everything, and you can see that in the movie. She was, well, spoiler alert, in Guardians of the Galaxy 2, when she was first introduced in the cinematic universe, she was very naive to everything. She was very inexperienced, like a kid, because all she knew was whatever ego the living planet told her. And I actually love that so much about her. And I'm actually kind of sad that Meek in Thor Ragnarok didn't play that much of a role, because okay, yeah, he was completely different from the comics, but I just thought he was so funny, just the way he looked, the way he sounded, and his back and forth with Korg the Cronin. And I just thought, what would happen if those two ever were to, you know, combine? And I thought that would happen in Infinity War, but it didn't. That's what I'm kind of pissed off about. But then again, I'm not going to say anything about Infinity War. You just have to watch it for yourselves, because that movie was awesome. And I have nothing bad to say about it. I mean, it was just a perfect mix of humor and action, but the humor wasn't, you know, it didn't outshine the action like a lot of these Marvel movies do. And that's something I'm really grateful for. Okay, we're nearly done with the ink drawing. I think all that's left now to do is Meek. Yeah, here we go. And, okay, it was kind of challenging to draw Meek, because there wasn't exactly that many of a field of references for him. So I actually took a picture of a Funko Pop doll and did the best I could from it for that. And the drooling was my own choice, because I thought, you know what, he was a bit too cute without the drool, and with the drool that adds in that extra bit of yuck to it, because it shows like she thinks he's adorable when everybody else thinks he's just gross. But you know what, I think he's adorable too. I mean, look at those little hands. Those little feet. It's so cute. Oh yeah, add in these. I didn't have anything to say there. We're done, and then we can move on to the edging. Yeah, we're done. And kind of the creepy thing about Mantis is her eyes are just pitch black. But you know what? I think the actress who plays her does it well. Of course, her content, but you know what? She's a great actress. Let's not forget that. Of course, my edgings here and there. Not too much on the skin, because then it'll look weird. Or it'll just take away from the rest of the thing. The thing is, it'll make her face look too much like her clothes, and that's what we don't want. Well, that's what I don't want, at least. And then personally, I think I did too much on Meek, but you know what? In the end, who cares anyway? Well, I do, but, you know, okay, yeah. I do care, but, you know, a learning process. Let's leave it at that. Maybe next time I'll just use a thinner brush when I'm doing these edgings. That way, they're still there, but not so predominant. Or just dominant. God, I'm so bad with words nowadays. That could also be because I just had one of my wisdom teeth removed. So I still have the stitches in my mouth, so when supposedly when they're all healed up, the stitches are just supposed to dissolve on their own, and I should just spit out the knot one of these days, but you don't want to hear that. Okay, thankfully, Mantis' suit has a lot of leather, so I can just use just a heavy black tone for for the bulk of the shadow, so we don't have to worry too much about shading on that. And of course, when it comes to the skin, use only the black tones on places you know will not see any light. Because if you use too much, if you use the black tones on skin that's like catching normal light, then it look like metal, and that's not what you want. You want a normal skin color, not color, skin tone. So when it comes to shading skin, leave that on the. Let that be done when you have the colors, and when you have the colors done, so you can use that on a different layer. So then you can determine if that's too much or too little. Thank God her pants were just this greenish shade of black. That's a thing. But you know, you'll see that once the colors are all done. Because the thing is, with this drawing, thankfully, because her clothes were usually monochrome feeling, I just used one shade of green for the rest of her costume, except for the metal bits. And that was pretty much easy to do. And I used a paintbrush for this, because I thought it has a nice texture to it, and I think I'm going to be using it a bit more often than I should, or than I think I will. I'm just adding it here and there, just giving it a bit of extra depth, also under the nose, because that's also where a little light shines. Not too much on her teeth, because then it'll look like, it'll just look weird. Just enough to show that she's got different, the teeth are not just all one piece. Of course, not too much on the skin, because then it'll look like there's too much contrast. Because in this particular piece, I didn't want to use a background, because then I think it would have taken away from the initial topic of it. Because it's just a nice short, I wouldn't say it's a meme, more like a nice little, what's the word I'm looking for? Could be a comic strip, but I'd say it's more of a novelty piece, like my Kawaii Deadpool on my Instagram. You can check it out. There's a link. I'll leave a link in the description below. And of course, with Meek, just add in a hell of a lot of shadow. Just here, there, everywhere. Because he's a bug, really neat. I was kind of struggling to figure out what sort of texture to give it, so I just, went with the skin. With Mantis' skin, not too much and also not too little, just to show off that it is somewhat 3D. And of course, a lot on his underbelly, because that's the bit that's being covered up by Mantis' arms. Okay, after this part, we got the highlights. Oh no, we have to do his drool. Okay, now we move on to the highlights, which is on a separate layer again, screen layer. And not too much on her skin, because then it'll look too shiny and give off the impression that she's very sweaty, and we don't want that. We do want that on Meek, though, because then it'll look shiny and also look like he actually has a carapace, or a shell, or whatever the hell he has. His species has. But we do want a lot on her suit, because that's mostly leather, and leather is very shiny. Well, this sort of leather. A very quick strokes here and there. And now for the drool, and now for Meek. Actually, I first found Meek in the animated version of Planet Hulk, which I thought was really cool. Okay, and now we get the, now we do my normal texture all over it, give it that nice little extra feeling. Now we're done, and now we put in what makes it funny. And this is Mantis and Meek. I hope you guys enjoyed this. I enjoyed drawing it, and if you guys are ever in Holland at a comic convention, please look me up. I'm always looking forward to meeting new people. And please check out what I got on Instagram. Thank you all for watching, and I hope to see you next time. Goodbye!